Good Saturday evening to everyone. It's Law Dog Sports, the college football wrap-up show here on a bustling Saturday night. College football-wise, there's some big matchups going on around the region and the nation, and they've got a barn burner down in College Station going on. About to be 17-14. LSU still leading, but Texas A&M on the comeback. Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airwaves, joining me here on our YouTube live channel. Marty Wandry already checking in from all the way at Clinton, just down the road from his business, Clinton Liquor, which might be hard to see the hat, but it is a Clinton Liquor hat, so we appreciate Marty very much. Jeremy, man, what a day, what a day, what a day. It's these Saturdays aren't nearly as fun, man. I mean, last year we did this sparingly, I think. I think we might have been pretty consistent throughout the regular season and then trailed off before bowl season, whatever the case might be. But this SEC schedule, this status of this team, the way that they play, it's just the only way I can describe it is a pisser.
You know how I would a wicked pisser? Are we like South Boston right now?
I'm from
It's
Boston.
a wicked pisser. So, I would describe it as, God dang, man. How many self-inflicted wounds are you going to give yourself before you just finally grow a brain and start playing better? It's insane.
Okay, so to preface everything, we're talking about the OU game or the OSU game or
Anything.
Anything, yeah.
Tulsa, shit.
So let's go ahead and jump in, since we are predominantly, I hate to say that we're predominantly an OU broadcast, but hey, the Thunder are winning pretty big tonight.
Yeah, they are beating the crap out of Josh Giddey's new buddies.
Yeah, Utah and Houston underway. That one they're in the fourth quarter, tied at 14. The Utes, man, what happened to that team?
Man, I don't know. Whittingham, not having a great season. I guess Cam Rising not. Oh wait, that's a replay.
Yeah,
sorry.
SMU leading Duke 14-7. Duke does have the ball.
Let's go. Hey, that Penn State Wisconsin game's looking pretty good. 14-13 Penn State.
Yeah, before we came on the air, you mentioned that Tawi Walker has really run the ball well, and we'll get into that in just a second too. But just to mention that right now, 7:01 left in the fourth quarter, the Oklahoma City Thunder lead the Chicago Bulls 100-77, and my Spurs lead the Houston Rockets 67-55 in the third quarter. Dallas about to tee off against Phoenix. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. Oklahoma travels to Oxford, their first game in history in the state of Mississippi, Jeremy, and it's going to be one to forget. 4-3 on the season.
But that first half.
No real outlook to see how the season ends up being bowl eligible. The first half was an improved team. They led 14-10. Actually, should have led 17-10 after the fourth down lack of conversion.
Hey, our guy Brendan Thompson, that ball hit him right in his chest.
Yeah,
in the end zone, and that's inexcusable. But hey, Marty, Steve, we're sacrificing Oklahoma and Oklahoma State football for that Thunder championship this year.
I guess so. I mean, I've been there when the Thunder have played for a championship before, and I wasn't that impressed. So let's see what happens.
Well, you were curmudgeonly even when you were young.
I was, and I was about 30. I was 40. I think I was 41 then. So yeah, but
relatively,
I mean, you got to admit. I mean, I don't know the.
Man, the heartbeat of the state is college football.
It is, and that's where I was going. Well, and so, anyways, looking at that game, at 26-14 is the final. OU doesn't score in the second half. They give up 16 in that second half, which really, I mean, the third quarter was the doer. The 13 points that Ole Miss scored in the third quarter was just that was the end of it. But I will say this, you're going up against a premier offensive mind. Nobody's going to dispute the fact that Lane Kiffin and how many, I mean, if I took away one thing today away from that game is that star receiver for Ole Miss was very missed. Because
Apparently,
I mean, apparently they would have scored on each and every possession had he been playing.
right. And, Oklahoma missing 5 receivers. I mentioned, I think, once in the pregame, but never again during the rest
They
of the
do
game.
show the list. I mean, they'll always
Yeah,
show the list.
the list, and it is long, it is extensive. But, I don't – the OU could have controlled that first half, could have 21 points, whatever. I think I tweeted out that was the most deflating drive I've ever witnessed as an OU fan because they came out, they looked so good, competent. Guys were where they were supposed to be. Passes were crisp. We're rolling out. We're, go, no go running. We're handing the ball off. We're getting yards. Javonte Barnes played great today.
Yeah.
And just had all the momentum in the world and just pissed down their leg right after halftime.
Yeah.
It's like they just don't understand. They can't handle success.
Yeah. The Taylor Tatum kid, he's got to start being able to handle
Oh my
hold on the
goodness.
ball. I mean,
Man, I love the kid's
his
ability.
fumbles have been at the most inopportune time. Of course, one of them, teammate saved his bacon today.
Yeah, that's one of the 2 good things J.J. Hester did today.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this, and you and I'm sure Connor Carr would laugh at me about this, but
Mid-range jumpers, checkdowns.
Checkdowns, baby. I mean, and as I tweeted to you in response after I was ridiculed for my checkdowns, is they're called completions.
No. They're not a checkdown. It's I don't have time to get the ball downfield. I'm just going to swing it out here in the flat and let my back make a play. It's not a checkdown. That's a means for survival.
I mean, the thing is those players are more geared to kick it into gear quickly.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I don't hate it.
Really, I mean, I think the reaction time when you send it on a check down, the only time that the defensive reaction time is worse is if you send a tight end up the seam, apparently.
I am here to debunk the myth of Bauer Sharp. We were told in the spring he was going to be an all SEC type player. I don't know if he's got 2 brain cells between his ears, and he definitely can't catch the ball in traffic. So I don't know what people saw because I don't see it.
Yeah. Marty Wandry checked in, said 8 yards for OU in the third quarter. That was truly abominable. And,
I mean, they had a great first half. They made no adjustments after halftime. They thought, well, we'll just keep rolling the same thing out there. And
I mean, I'll say this. And obviously, so the one possession Oklahoma had with let's see, was it a long completion to, there was
a long completion to Hester. There was a long completion to Barnes.
And then the penalty.
Uh-huh.
Got him down to the 20, I think, at least.
Yep.
And then sack.
Sure. 3 straight sacks in the possession. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
one of those was on Jackson because he dared go to his second or third read.
Yeah. I didn't see that type of abomination happen in the 2005 Orange Bowl. I mean, with Jason White with two bad knees never faced that kind of pressure. I mean, this offensive line.
I think I'm done with Coach B, Chuck.
That's why I said. I mean,
the myth of Coach B.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know that, and I don't know that it's necessarily all his fault. I mean, 99% of it is. Okay.
Yeah.
He recruited these guys, but you cannot build a cohesive offensive line that is good for year after year through the transfer portal. You can't.
Yeah.
It's never worked.
No.
Unless you get the guy right after his freshman year, like Noiwu, maybe great next year. I mean, he's been adequate this year. He can't run block worth a damn, but he's a good pass blocking guard.
Hey, I mean, right now you would be thinking just find a guy who can make the quick enough back step to at least hinder the guy for a split second. I
Well,
mean, they've got edge rushers coming in unfettered.
well, when Big Sexy went down, the game ended. You know that, right?
That's Sexton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came back out and then went back into the tent.
Yep.
They said he got rolled up on. So
Twice. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, but
There's
here's
no
the
depth
thing:
there.
if your offensive line was hanging on that one player of a thread, then you're doomed.
I mean, what? Who cares? Play Eddie Pierre Louis. Play Akinkunmi. Play these young dudes that are
Yeah,
just big, good looking athletes. Let's see what they've recruited. They
yeah.
can't do worse,
I
right?
will say this. I mean, I was impressed with Jackson Arnold, obviously in the first half, and
Oh,
you
he showed a
know,
lot of
sadly,
grit the whole game, Chuck.
huh?
He showed a lot of grit the whole
He
game.
did, but he had nice plays in the
Yeah.
first half. I'll say this: the the route pattern, and you mentioned this on Twitter, and I think I backed you up. I'm really tired of seeing him throw into traffic with two receivers in the same area.
Yeah, yeah, there's zones there, you know.
Yeah,
I don't and I've heard, people that are in the know saying, well, that's because these younger guys, these not starting guys, they don't run the routes as well. All right. Well,
well,
I mean,
I mean
there were two times.
they've been running routes since they were freshmen in high school, right?
Well,
I
Bauer
mean,
Sharp and Brendan Thompson have been listed as starters all year. That first touchdown pass that was dropped, I want to say that there was some eye level change because for some reason Bauer Sharp was 2 yards in front of Brendan Thompson. So I
yeah,
don't know which one was in the wrong,
yeah.
but somebody was where they shouldn't have been.
Well, it's just
I
it's
I think
disheartening because you
Seth's.
go on the road.
I know.
And while Mississippi, started the season in the top 10, they've fallen a bit, since then. But, two losses in conference, they're hoping to make a playoff. But I'll say this, Jeremy, they basically are susceptible. And I think, oh my gosh, did you just see that guy drop that ball in the Arizona game? Oh, I guess I got too many channels open.
Can
Hold
you
on,
respond?
Jeremy.
There he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to open Facebook on my computer. I think I'm gonna have to invest in a new computer. It's just
It
it's
might be
beyond
time.
time.
It might be time.
So man, the kid from Arizona was wide open on some sort of bootleg play or something, and he dropped the pass. That's gonna smart. They still could score here though.
Yeah, I need him to score because I think I picked Arizona to cover some weird spread.
Fafita
Six and a
trying to
half.
run it in. He gets in. Yep. There you go. I think that was
Okay.
Fafita. Kid's got some wheels on him when he
Yeah,
moves.
he's a good player.
Yeah. Why are they 3-4 in conference is my question. But
You don't understand the gauntlet that is the Big 12.
yeah, and look at Kansas and K State. That's some
What's
K
that
State
score?
some K State troll had the audacity to put a post of it was something about OU and Ole Miss final, and they put the Battle of Mid from.
Damn. Hey, are the Dodgers going to sweep the Yanks?
Are they were up 4-1, I think, in the
It's
fifth.
still 4-1, top seven.
Wow.
I want to tell you what, I remember it being in Todd Easton's living room in 1988, was it, when Gibby
Yeah.
went Hondo Yard against Eckersley on two bad wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that thing last night. I sat up in bed. I was like just trying to relax. I'll throw the baseball. Wow.
Yeah.
I like Freddie Freeman anyways. I think he's a class act, but
Yeah.
what a moment.
Marty Wandry had also said he'd like to see us try to do the show next week from the main game. But he's going to be there. I think he wants me to come also, and you and I get together and do the show.
Yeah, hey Marty, we got the Chiefs, brother. That's
That's right.
hey, we got DeAndre Hopkins coming in. It's getting ready to be 7-0 this weekend.
Yeah.
we're going for 17-0, then sweep through the playoffs, three-peat, and then cry about OU.
Sherry Albert checks in and says, "I'm late to the party. Thoughts on the targeting flag that was picked up?"
It wasn't targeting.
It was not.
It was not targeting.
Okay.
Bowen's got a fair catch that he had guys closing in on him. It bang bang. It looked like targeting, but I think we had a face-to-face contact there, and it wasn't targeting.
Well, watching one of the late games last night, and it might have been Rutgers USC. Yeah, it was Rutgers USC, and a kid caught the ball, took a step, and then got helmet to helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like to me, Jeremy, that in the college game, the launching is really what's going to have to be part of it, because the crown of the helmet part of the rule seems to be extremely subjective, and then also very narrow line there.
Oh yeah, and watching the game in real time, they bring their rules expert in and they say, "Oh, it's definitely targeting. He didn't have a chance to make a football move." And then they went to the replay, and the replay overturned it, and then they explained why it wasn't targeting.
Let's go to the replay.
Like, well, damn it.
Yeah, and then man, who would have thought Chris Paul Jr. would have such bad sportsmanship?
Wow.
He's not Chris Paul's son either.
Okay, I didn't think
I
so.
looked it up.
It's like, that'd be awesome, right?
What? He should be passing the ball,
right?
Yeah,
like
you and Marty
kid.
Wandry definitely got the Chiefs, and
but Marty will tell you, just like I'll tell you, it doesn't hit the heart like an OU natty would.
Yeah, I don't know. You're kind of in abundance as far as the Chiefs championship goes. You can kind of,
I still think about 2000 every day.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the last time that my life of sports was of. I don't know. I mean, I had the Astros win one before I realized they were cheaters, and then I had the Rangers win last year.
Now that Cubs World Series in 2016, pure bliss.
Yeah, like, a lot of amazing expectations going along with these. And here's what I'm gonna bounce off you today, Jeremy, because I thought about it earlier before we came on the air. Is this whole dynamic of OU football a little different if between 03, 04, and 08 they pull off one or two of those championships?
Oh, 1,000,000%.
So this is a different program today if
yes.
you win at least one of those three opportunities. Maybe,
yes.
And even though it was a semifinal in 2017, 2018,
just get to the final in 2019 or 2018, whatever year it was. Yeah, it's
2017 season, 2018 playoffs. But yeah, so
because that expectation was, championships, 2000, right?
I just think when you're recruiting, if you got those trophies sitting up, from at least just say 08.
Yeah.
Just say 08, or 03 and 08. And 2000. I mean, if you've got three here in this millennium, I think it's a different trajectory for this program. And right now, they have been needing to prove the haters wrong for 15 to 20 years.
And the haters have been right so far this year. But I tell you what,
credit to the haters.
And I would postulate this right now: if Bob Stoops wins one or two of those, he's probably still coaching because there is zero pressure on him.
Well, that's what. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see what the pressure was when he left. Really, okay, I retract that. I automatically retract that. 2016 season, his final one, he gets outcoached by Tom Herman in Houston. Mm-hmm. He gets obliterated by Urban Meyer in Norman against Ohio State. And so, yeah, I get where the pressure was, even though that team bounced back and probably
they did kick the crap out of Auburn in the bowl game.
Yeah, and they were a heck of a team that season. So, but I'll say this, I mean, in our adult
that was Baker's
life,
first season, right?
Huh?
Is that Baker's first season or second?
2015 was his first.
Okay.
That was the year they went to the playoffs and lost to Clemson.
The Thunder only won by 19 tonight, guys.
Man, Hang up
Yeah.
the banner.
Ah,
Put
dang
away the
it.
banner.
Might want to have a talk with
LSU.
Dagnall about him taking his foot off the gas.
Yeah,
Ooh,
all
A&M took the
messed up.
lead.
Yeah,
LSU is
20 to
going to be
17. Elko's kind of been stunned
and
amazement.
just it's like an angel ringing a bell. Lenny Rowland throws out there. LSU is going to be at the top of the SEC. Marty, A&M just took the lead.
Hey,
So middle left.
I'll say this for Lenny Rowland, Jeremy.
Yeah.
He's the Cunado, right?
Yes, that's Cunyato.
I'll say this for Lenny. I do you see anybody else in the country playing as well? I mean, if they come out of this one with a win, is there anybody else in the country playing as well as
No.
LSU? Maybe
No.
Oregon?
It- Oregon, yeah. What's their score looking like right now?
Because I imagine if Texas had to go into Death Valley at night.
Hell, Texas almost didn't survive Nashville.
That's what I'm saying. I
And
mean,
who was it that called them a fraud today? Because OU is hot garbage.
yeah.
Michigan sucks, and their best win is what? What's their best win?
Somebody wanted to say Louisiana Monroe,
Vanderbilt.
I think.
Vandy's their best win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Michigan is, let's see, I didn't see what the score, that might be final now. Poor Dan Narva, man. The Sparties just really 27-24. Texas beats Vanderbilt, and
Yep.
that was a late win as well.
Did
And then,
Michigan cover?
Miami's just pummeling Florida State with 142 left in the fourth, 36-7. 24-17 with 4:34 left to go in the fourth quarter. Michigan leads Sparty.
Huh.
Sparty does have the ball. They're driving at midfield. So
Let's go.
yeah. Penn State up 21-13 on Wisconsin. That's at Camp Randall. So 8:41 left to go in the fourth quarter. Not much jumping around. Auburn with the 17-10 lead over Mark Stoops and the Kentucky Wildcats.
They'll find a way to throw that one away.
Jeremy, you talk about a squad that peaked when they won in Oxford. Man, South Carolina houses them. They go down to Oxford the next week and beat Kiffin, and then it's been dumpster fire ever since.
Sure.
Why couldn't we have Kentucky on the schedule?
I know, right? We don't want
Thanks,
to beat up on a Stoops. We don't.
No.
We just want Bob back, damn it.
Yeah, this will be if they lose this one to Auburn, that would be 3 in a row after beating Ole Miss on September 28th.
Every time I see Bob Stoops running around Norman looking healthy and fit and happy, I just get more and more angry.
Does he look that fit though?
Oh yeah, he does.
Really?
For a guy his age, yeah.
No, he don't look that fit.
He should still be on the sideline, Chuck.
Venables looks fit.
Yeah, but Venables doesn't know when to call timeouts. And when it's 4th and 2, and you got them on their heels. Don't call the timeout and punt.
Somebody said that they'll never unsee him looking like that. He looks like Red Skull from Captain America.
He super does.
Here's my thing. I love Brent, I think as far as the culture he's trying to implement, but
I wanted to bring that up tonight.
All right, but let me. Oh,
okay, go.
A&M just picked off Nussmeier.
Oh, that's ball game, bro.
Before you get started, let me say this. Coaching wise, and it was really I mean, man, I used to love Louis Riddick. Louis Riddick should stay on the NFL. College, it's just not his bag. He's so much better evaluating and critiquing professional players than he is college players. And I realize that these are potential pros, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
They're pros. They're getting paid.
But one thing that they were right about, but they really seemed to beat the drum hard, was burning that time out when you were thinking about going for it on 4th down.
That was dumb.
That was terrible. I mean, and that's the type of stuff that, because you're now in the SEC, gets really exposed and ran up the flagpole when somebody's trying to show that your coach is incompetent.
Yes. Yes. And one thing I wanted to say is we were talking about recruiting last week, and it was going to hurt recruiting. And one thing that Brent has said, thank God, is that he's only taken guys that are committing to the university.
Yeah.
So does that make you feel any better? I don't know. Makes me feel a little better, but I know the culture's there, and I know guys love the culture, but I don't know if that culture is a winning culture at this point.
Yeah. John Workman, did Texas A&M bring in the backup? That's a good question. I'm not. I bet they did because I haven't seen Weeder or Wegman. There he is.
Connor Wegman?
Yeah, his helmet's off. So
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
looks like
I don't
Reed.
know.
Looks like Reed is in. So
I am so tired of these universities absolutely hating their school colors.
yeah,
We got A&M. Well, they're
yeah,
they're wearing a blackout uniform tonight.
yeah.
Then you got Ohio or Iowa State.
They never
They
wear
had
it.
3 to 4 times a season. They don't even wear, maroon and gold. What is
And
going on?
I don't know what Dan Narva's going to think about this, but that's my big. I give Minnesota a lot of props in the fact that um, they really stick with their base colors. It may be a vintage uniform or whatever, but you don't see a whole lot of that mess from Minnesota.
And when they throw out the yellow helmets, those are
Hmm.
pretty sharp. I
Yeah.
like those.
Um, so Illinois was not up to the task to take on Dylan Gabriel and the Ducks today. That was a true beatdown. And then Missouri. Here's the thing: they said Cook hurt his hand like during the game. I thought he was questionable or wouldn't go to start the game.
Did he play?
Well, let me
I
effort
don't think
that.
he played.
Well, that's what I thought, but then I saw a headline that says Missouri loses quarterback to hand injury, something like that. Yeah, he was 7 of 12 for 30 yards. He did play.
Well, hopefully they tenderize his hand up a little bit more before OU visits.
34
Yeah,
nothing. I
yeah,
would say they tenderized it pretty well. I mean,
yeah, Dan. I do not like the ISU black. I don't like their whiteout uniform. They have good school colors. I get it. They look just like USC, but that's what you chose. That's what you got to go with.
yeah. So Sparty trying to drive down the field to get a tying score against the Wolverines. Cincinnati and Colorado just underway. Looks like Cincinnati gets the ball first. They're already about to punt. And then, so Auburn's still up on Kentucky. Let's see here. Trying to think of games that we know that we had on our pick 'em. And how about Tulsa doing the comeback on UTSA? What happened to my Roadrunners, Jeremy?
I, I, it's one of them. GJ Kinney should have took an AAC job while the good was good, right?
Yeah. Well, Frank, what's his face? The coach. He just what is his name? Frank.
Oh, the coach at
uh,
UTSA.
yeah,
GJ Kinney's at Texas State.
yeah.
Sorry.
That's what you
Uh,
threw me off there.
yeah, I can't even think of the guy's name.
So Tulsa goes into the half in that game, trailing 35-7. And then they win it 46-45. That's Kevin Wilson just all over right there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
just and here's the thing. I think had they lost that game, it would have been 1998 since the last time both or all three state schools had 3-game losing streaks.
That's insane.
Because here's the thing, everybody's loving to pile on Oklahoma right now. I think anybody who was a realist, and granted, you and I are not necessarily super realistic with the Oklahoma football program, but anybody that was looking at that schedule and really researched their offensive line going into it. Now, receiver room looked like it was going to be, a real strength.
Receiver room is going to be good.
Yeah. But this OSU team, you talk about lowered expectations. I mean, they were looking at they were looking at, a playoff.
But damn, Chuck. I mean, yeah, they had everybody back,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Who did they lose?
Not.
And we give Gundy all kinds of crap
Mm-hmm.
because they'll lose to like South Alabama or Central Michigan or somebody they shouldn't lose to in the out of conference schedule, and then ruin everyone's season in the conference schedule and
Yeah.
have a really good conference record. come close to making a championship or get a championship berth and, go into a mid-tier bowl game. That's their MO, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this year they looked good. They looked decent in the out of conference, and then well, that little quirk in Mike Gundy's coaching style came up and bit him right in the ass once the conference started.
Well, they're 0-5 in conference play. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. Five
uh,
straight losses, right?
say what you want about Oklahoma, they did get a road win in the SEC.
That's
So
right.
I don't know, but like you said, they had everybody coming back. They had the Doak Walker Award winner, who I still think can get out and do good things. Just for some reason, they can't figure out what to do now. 7-year senior. I personally, if I'm a head coach and I've got a kid it's like somebody tweeted out after, about the second straight loss they had. There's a reason your guy is able to be around for 7 years.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
And yes, he may be able to navigate a program, but here's the thing: if it was going to be Bowman just kind of managing the game, then why isn't Gordon doing more? I mean, what? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't explain that. I don't know what Gundy's thinking there. You got a workhorse running back.
Yeah.
Man, throw the yoke around his neck and ride him.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, here I sit and bag on Bowman, but he was 28 of 42 for 359 yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. Gordon ran for 77 yards. He also had 15 yards receiving.
Man, what must it be like to be able to drop back 42 times and complete 28?
He was sacked 3 times.
Holy shit.
So basically 1 possession for Oklahoma. But therein lies the thing, Jeremy, and this is where I think the people who say fire Brent Venables have any credibility is the fact that you knew going into this season what you needed. You knew you would have to upgrade in every single trench position,
and they did on one side of the ball because we talked about this earlier.
Dominic Williams, guess what, bub? You're a two-way player.
Yep. Wow. I don't think it works that way, but
I don't care. You telling me he could be worse? Are you telling me he could be worse? Really?
Oh, hey. I think we just talked about. Hey, Norm. Hey. Let the young guys play. They're hungry. Let Eddie Pierre Louis. Eddie Pierre Louis is 320 pounds, runs 112 seconds. The kid's a big old athlete.
All I want to know is how fast he can backpedal. Can he backpedal fast enough to not get beat on the edge? That's my question.
I don't know. Throw his ass out there, see what happens. Daniel Akinkunmi, the best player to ever come out of Great Britain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but throw his ass out there, see what he can do.
Dan Narvis says looks like a turnover on downs for Sparty, so early mistakes. Yeah. Rough year for Sparty. Rough year. Hey, a great year for Indiana. How about Kurt Cignetti and the Hoosiers?
I know, right?
I mean,
see what he's about.
They road race Nebraska, and then Nebraska goes into that was at Ohio State.
Yeah,
was it not?
I think so. Kirk Cignetti wins everywhere he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
How is he? How? I mean, how is a guy like that just fall through the cracks?
Yeah.
End up at Indiana, and he's in his 50s, 60s. He's not a young guy.
Mm-mm. Let me ask you this. If you went after a guy who was up and coming in FBS or up and coming in, the Power Four, not a big name, if you did have to move on from BV, can you offset some of the expense by getting a coach who's not going to command a ton of money in the beginning?
No, because if they're hot enough that Oklahoma's going after him, then other schools will be going after him too.
So then you're looking at hiring a coordinator who's hot.
Yeah, but this myth that
because I don't think they want to or can come up with the money.
If they wanted to come up with the money, they'd come up with the money. I I
Who's the
think
big benefactor that Oklahoma has that's gonna
you
flip
know
that over?
I man, Clay Bennett.
Yeah,
I mean, he owns a basketball team. They
yeah.
play
He's got a
downtown
lot of
Oklahoma
salary
City.
there.
It's kind of a big deal.
He's got a lot of salary there too. Not as much as some, but I don't know. And really, I don't think it's not this season. I don't think there's any way it's this season because I think now everybody's come to terms with this is what it is. If you can somehow go to Columbia and pull off an upset, which without if what's his name, Brady Cook.
Yeah.
If Brady Cook is out or hampered or whatever the case
Man,
may be.
you're talking about Missouri. You need to
Mhm.
worry about Maine.
Well, the Black Bears come in, and I'd hate to think that we. No, I mean, what are they? I mean, our defense had a rough day today. That's one of the top ranked offenses in the country.
Yeah, but Chuck, God dang it.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not
OU's
worried about. I'm
corners are
not going to go in worried
garbage.
about Maine.
Kanai Walker he stays burnt. Man,
He had
Gentry
one good
Williams is
coverage.
a really good player,
Who?
and Gentry Williams, and he
Yeah.
cannot stay on the field. It has just been, yeah, that's lost in all this. Gentry Williams hadn't played at all this year.
What happened to Woody Washington?
He's out there getting toasted all day.
Why? I mean, I expected a lot more from him this far along in his career, and
Well,
therein lies another Oklahoma
he's a
phenomenon.
fifth-year senior, Chuck. If he was that good, he'd be
Yeah,
playing on Sundays.
true. Oh, A&M touchdown. Marcel Reed. You remember Marcel Ledbetter?
I remember Marcel the Monkey from Friends.
No, Marcel Ledbetter. Marcel Ledbetter was Marty Wandry. If you're listening, let me know if you remember Marcel Ledbetter. And I'll hold off a minute, see if he remembers. He's my age. He might remember it. But no, it's 27-17 with the extra point to come in College Station. A&M starting to pull away early in the fourth quarter.
A&M.
A&M. Man, I tell you, you and I are a little polar opposite on our viewpoint of the Aggies. I like them back in the old R.C. Slocum days.
Oh yeah, there's a picture floating around of me having a conversation with the great Steve Owens,
Yeah.
and I've got a freaking Aggies hat on.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Man, Steve should have slapped that off your head.
He probably should have, but I was 18 at the time. I was 17, so I was in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Dan Narva remembers Marcel Ledbetter. Nobody
So
commented yet.
Ledbetter.
We'll see.
Was he an A&M luminary?
No, Marcel Ledbetter was the fictional character that the comedian Jerry Clower always mentioned in stories. Oh!
Why did you just say it was a Jerry?
Marcel Ledbetter. Jerry Clower.
Jerry Clower.
You know what's funny is it's something we should have mentioned when we were talking to Mike Steele. Was during the initial stages of the Gulf War in 2003, when he was on the air. Marty didn't know it. When he was on the air and they would talk about, remember, shock and awe?
Yeah.
They would go, it's a campaign of shock, and then they would play Jerry Clower. Oh! I wish I'd have brought that up to Mike. All right, so back on OU. And really, you could throw OSU in the mix too. I mean, when are their boosters and bigwigs going to say, "Man, you had everything lined up. This is what you're bringing us." I mean, 5 straight losses in conference.
Yeah, I think Boomer Beamer had the solution to all this.
Go ahead and read that off, or let everybody know what it consists of.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the tweet.
Basically, it was saying we should liquidate Oklahoma State and form one big super college.
Sell off the parts and pay Brent's buyout.
And then somebody comment on that. Get Quick Trip to see if BV would take payment in hot dogs. Michigan State. What do we got going on in the Michigan State game? So anyway, Alabama really dominant at home against the Missouri Tigers. Even and I want to say Brady Cook was banged up going into that, and Jalen Milroe with a decent day. Their running game. I mean, Alabama's pretty helter-skelter under Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, they are not. They're not that consistent, juggernautish Alabama of old, is it?
And Saban kind of threw that out there today on game day too. The discipline aspect of it, and
Yeah.
he's obviously indicating he's not digging what he sees.
Here it is. If we had to move on from BV and needed to pay that buyout, couldn't we just shut down and liquidate Oklahoma State? Do they have a reason to exist now that they aren't tied to OU anymore?
Yeah, that's just hurtful.
Let's see.
Well, so defensively, everybody said for Oklahoma
didn't need to strip A&M down to the studs.
Say again now.
It's strange that Elko didn't need to strip A&M down to the studs to be successful.
Well, nobody ever disputed, Jimbo's recruiting prowess. I mean, he was a December champion, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
sure. The only kid that got Jameis Winston 2.0.
Well, I mean, who's the kid that's bounced around the league a bit?
Jameis Winston 1.0?
No, from A&M.
Kellen Mond?
Kellen Mond, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the closest they came in College Station. Colorado up 7-0 on Cincinnati. Man, I tell you what, Jeremy, looking at the college football pick'em that we had, I'm pretty stunned what Colorado went with some sort of gray uniform. That's with mountains on the sleeves. Man, Colorado got no real respect from Vegas on this Cincinnati game, and BYU got no respect in the Central Florida game.
None at all. BYU's got a good football team, and I can't explain it.
Yeah, I mean, what does Vegas? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. North Carolina with a big bounce back for Mac, 41-14 over Virginia. Were you surprised at the Notre Dame Navy score, 51?
No. Good Lord, no.
No, we were supposed to have Navy and Army in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's that commentary was loaded with hyperbole and feel good BS. Guys, Navy was never going to beat Notre Dame. Okay,
I was a little surprised by the score though.
Notre Dame kicked the living crap out of them.
Yeah,
it was like what, 41-14.
Yeah. And then. Man, Arkansas gets the boot out for Jeff Lebby in Mississippi State, 58-25. Connor Carr had to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, we're one visit to the field away from having a really good offense in Norman. Keep your father-in-law away, dude.
What do you got going?
Huh?
What?
Oh no, Jeff Lebby. He could still be the OC in Norman.
So you think if he doesn't feel the pressure for all the hate that he got for bringing CAB to the field, that he turns down a head coaching job in the SEC?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I mean, okay. Bob Stoops, and we keep coming back to him. Bob Stoops. Think of another coordinator that Brent Venables. You sit, you're good. Really good, great offenses. What are you going to do at Mississippi State? Because that cupboard was bare. You had the Leach thing, which was just a tragedy that the rest of us mourn still to this day.
Yeah.
And then his replacement didn't do anything recruiting. So you're going to come in there and you're going to get your rear end handed to you every damn week in the SEC. Or you could stay in Norman, make a pretty daggone good salary, get to coach Jackson Arnold, maybe compete for conference championships, maybe a national championship. I don't know. And then maybe end up with the Florida job. What's a better job, Mississippi State or Florida? Ask Dan Mullen, because he left Mississippi State for Florida. Ask him.
Yeah. Well, and you know, Florida State's going to open up pretty quick too.
Right. I
I
mean,
mean, it's not the SEC, but
you're telling me that a coordinator that is, a great coordinator, like we wanted Levy to be, is, I mean, I just don't. He could have stayed here another season and ended up with the Florida job, the Florida State job,
yeah,
a better job.
yeah. I mean,
Mississippi State's a tough sell, man, and it has taken a lot. You know,
was he?
Mullen had some success there.
Yeah,
Uh,
Sylvester Croom did
Leach
not.
had yeah, Kroom didn't. Leach had moderate success there.
But here's the thing.
They were a what Duke's Mayo Bowl team.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
And see, here's the thing that Oklahoma has to be scared of is nine. And I don't know with the expanded playoff, it's hard to figure, but there were some seasons. What ever since Oklahoma last won the Big 12 championship, which was 2020 with quarterback Spencer Rattler.
yep.
Um, every
New Orleans
season,
State starting quarterback Spencer Rattler.
yeah. I used to watch some of those games, like you mentioned, the Duke's Mayo game, or the Outback Bowl, or what it. They've changed so much, but you know which ones I'm talking about, like the Citrus
Poulan
Bowl.
Weed Eater Bowl.
Well, what's that? What's that thumbs up that just popped up on the screen?
I don't know. Someone likes it. Someone. What do you mean?
I think it was on the Zoom call.
Oh, crazy. What's a Zoom call?
That scares me.
Someone's watching this on Zoom.
Yeah, look on YouTube. It'll pop up, I think.
On the YouTubes?
Yeah. Should be
Well, let's see.
about right now. I'm
Where is it?
freaking out, man.
You need to calm down.
I know. Did you do that? It's
I didn't do
Zuckerberg.
that.
Zuckerberg followed us to YouTube.
That son of a bitch.
Dan Narva, Bastard Wolverines won. Dan Narva said he's got his Steve Owens T-shirt. That might be a Lions.
Good
Lions
man.
there. Yeah.
I need to get I have a signed photo with Steve.
Yeah.
And, it's going to go back here.
And
somewhere.
Cincinnati just scored to tie the game with the extra point coming. So that'll be a shootout in Boulder tonight.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Man, A&M's up 28-17. How about that?
Yeah. So here's my thinking, Jeremy, is the fit with Levy and Venables, was it really good from the beginning? I mean, I know he came in with Venables. He was selected by Venables, but was it really? I mean, I guess there would be a connection for back in Levy's playing days somewhat.
Sure. It seemed like there was a lot of growing pains with complementary football, with that style of offense, with, what Brent was trying to do with the defense with him and Ted Roof and the three-man front, which is a fantastic name that Steely gave, Ted Roof.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously the Levy thing's over. Is
Sure.
Joe John Finley? I mean, here's the thing: who was seeing things going into last season's recruiting, the portal? Who do you think was down there really calling the shots on this abomination? I gotta quit. That's the third time I've used the word abomination in a
Abomination.
yesterday. Who do you think was really signing off or really presenting the ideas of, hey, let's go get this center from SMU?
Probably the guy that was named the offensive coordinator or Coach Beatonbow.
All right. Well, we got rid of one. Time to get rid of the second one. I'm serious. I mean,
know
he's heralded like a god in this.
I know.
And
I know. And it's tough, the guy has been revered around here. It's like, well, if we wouldn't have got rid of Coach Smitty, then we wouldn't have had the offensive line problems we had starting with post Creed Humphrey. So think of this. You had the Joe Moore award winning class, right? That was 2019, the 2019 team. That would
Yeah.
have been Kyler's year when they got their ass
Yeah.
kicked by
Yeah.
Alabama, Quentin Williams.
Hmm.
That orange
They won
Sugar
the
Bowl.
Joe Moore Award that season, not the season where Baker took them to the semis,
No, it was the year they got their.
because they were a much better offensive line that
Oh,
year.
sure, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that
that
was
was a much
Orlando
better team,
Brown
top
and
to bottom.
Cody Ford and a
Yeah,
bunch of them. Yeah.
Ben Powers,
Yeah.
Zeus.
Hmm.
Most of those guys were back that next year. I think that was when they
Okay.
won the Joe Moore Award,
Yeah.
and it was a good team, and it was a developmental squad, and they recruited guys that, fit the part, and developed them.
Yeah.
But then they got rid of Coach Schmidt.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what happened there, but all of a sudden the development kind of stopped. You had guys like Drew Samia, Ben Powers, Zeus came in as a 3-star. Cody Ford was not a highly recruited kid, if I remember correctly. He may have been a low 4, but they
Uh-oh.
developed through.
We got bickering between Travis Hunter and Shiloh Sanders.
Oh, goody!
Oh gosh.
But
There, there could be diamond necklaces being flung off, Jeremy.
Oh, but we could have a watch off.
Yeah.
They. Anyways, back to my point.
Yeah.
They developed through the program. They were really good, and they bring in Creed's class, and Creed was really good, but I think Creed was just good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Sure.
Country boy strong. Was he from Shawnee or Hera?
Shawnee, I think.
He's from Shawnee.
Yeah.
And the kid, I mean, he's the best center in the NFL now. I mean,
Yeah,
really.
highest paid center.
And when he came to OU, he was fighting for the start when he was a true freshman.
Yeah. And therein lies the thing. I mean, that kid came in and was a gamer, and it was easy.
But I mean,
to
you can't
spot.
discount the development of the guys before that.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that had also to do that they brought in kids that were really good, athletically, and they were developed through the S&C program. And Beatonbow may have a little bit to do with it, but a lot of it had to do with the strength and conditioning program.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, can you see that?
But-
I'm probably way off base because I think
so
Beatonbow,
round it up for me. You're saying that the Schmitty conditioning is what helped those lines before be better.
Well, I mean, remember what happened.
These guys. I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
Let's go into. Okay, so Wiley came in around 2020. I remember him putting his weird Billy Blanks typo video on YouTube during COVID. So I'm going to say he probably came in around 2020, right?
Sounds right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
When was Jalen Hurts here? Because that was his first year
2019.
here. So, okay, it was 2019. Okay, so that's when he was here because, the only person who really knew how to lift weights on the dang team was the quarterback in 2019.
And he'd been in Alabama's program for 4 years.
And he was probably the strongest dude on the dang team.
By far.
I mean, they had offensive linemen that couldn't throw 3 plates up. I'm 50 years old and I can still get 3 plates on a good day.
How much you bench?
But these...
I'm going to give this guy a beating.
Every year after Schmitty left, that offensive line degraded. It got worse. They got weaker. They got less condition. They just weren't as good up front on both sides of the football.
Well, he's in his 3rd season now, though. I mean, so what? I mean, where do you go from that?
Hey, the D-line. D-line's looking solid. You got to agree with me on that.
Sure. Defensive line is a strength of that team.
The offensive line is a patchwork of bad recruiting choices and bad picks out of the portal.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel like with that being the strength, and obviously linebackers are a strength, did they try to get to Jackson Dart enough today? Should they have upped the pressure a little bit?
Well, every time they upped the pressure, it left someone open right over the middle, or Jackson Dart would just make some amazing play and flip it over Kenai Walker's head and end up with a 30-yard first down. They could have done better. They could have maybe thrown some delayed blitzes out there. They could have, but Allie does a good job managing pressures up front.
Hmm.
They got enough pressure. I just think in the second half, Dart and that offensive line for Ole Miss was just better.
Yeah. He's a good quarterback. I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Well, there's a reason why Levy wanted to bring him here.
Sure, sure. Um, did he start at Ole Miss, or was he out at where was he to
He
start out with?
started at USC,
That's what I thought. Yeah.
and then Tebow went out there and he hit the portal, and him and Michael Trigg came here as a package in the transfer portal. Trigg was a big tight end, ended up at
Hmm.
Ole Miss with him, but I don't think Trigg is with the team any longer. But he was a really
Yeah.
6'5", 235-pound tight end, just a freaky athlete.
Yeah. We touched on the OSU game, the 38-28 loss, and really a very respectable offensive day for the Pokes. I mean, Baylor didn't let Gordon go off, but I mean, Bowman passed for a lot of yards. But I mean, uh, this OSU defense. I mean, I know they're another one that says they have injuries, but I mean, they're really bad.
Oh, they are. It's just
I
crazy.
mean, and
I mean, they didn't lose much either.
no, I mean they've like I said, I think Colin Oliver's out. Is that right?
Yeah,
He's a big one. But they
but
had guys. I mean, like this Walter Scheid guy. He was one coming back that was like, he was set to be a wrecker in the Big 12, and they're you're picked to win it. And I think of a time when anybody. Now there have been times when Oklahoma's been picked to win the conference kind of out of habit. When they were in the Big 12, and then
sure.
they faltered. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I
I mean,
think
they
those.
didn't falter off in the Big 12, but I get you.
Well, I mean, they finished fourth or fifth.
Sure.
When has ever a team been picked as a prohibitive favorite and end up finishing last more than likely? Because
Did
I don't
Texas
see
ever
another
do
win on this Oklahoma State schedule.
it? Did Texas ever do it?
Hmm.
Probably
If
not.
they got some nods back in like the early 20 teens, maybe it was a
Yeah, after that,
situation where
after
they
Max run.
fell down to sixth or seventh in the Big 12 or something like that.
Sure.
I don't
But they
remember.
always picked them one or two no
I
matter
mean,
what, and they would always finish in the lower half of the Big 12.
yeah, yeah. And even in those years where Oklahoma's looked at it and said, "Oh man, 2014, very A&M just scored again."
Uh, oh, they did. I thought that was a replay from earlier.
Man, Brian Kelly better get the Famo Lee ready together.
Man, that's okay. They get to beat the crap out of Oklahoma at home here in a few
Yeah,
weeks.
they'll be ready for that. Arizona State, TCU, Texas Tech, and Colorado. I don't see either any one of those last four games, Jeremy, will be an upset win for the Cowboys.
I mean, the only one you can really look at and say they've got a really good chance to win is probably Colorado.
Yeah,
If they could just limit Travis Hunter.
yeah. Some comments on YouTube. Dan Narva says it was an OU Owen shirt. Got it from the Fanatics bargain bin.
That's my guy.
Steve Anderson, he had checked in, said, "Oops, I'm late. What did I miss?" I said, "Everything." And he says,
Everything.
2 weeks in a row, coaching and missed tackles cost OSU a win. It was awful. And he also says Utah losing surprises him also. Yeah. Yeah, Utah and OSU, the two prohibitive favorites to win the Big 12, and they neither one have any shot at all. And really, I mean, let me look here.
But we picked Utah to win. I mean, the Big 12 this year. I know I did. I
Well,
don't
it
I
was
don't
between the
remember
two
if you
of
did
them,
or
and then
not.
maybe a little bit of a nod to K State, but it is by far neither one of those first two teams having a chance.
Sure.
You
But
know what I
I
hate
mean, all
about
that was
YouTube?
contingent on Cam Rising being healthy.
Yeah, you know what I hate about YouTube TV
What's that, bro?
is thanks. When you got it on the four multi-view channel, and you've got four football games, and then like I've got to switch it up now. I know I can do that, but like I've got
Oh, you don't
volleyball
want to
now
watch
on the SEC
News
channel.
Channel 4 on the lower left hand
Yeah, I've
side
got
there.
News Channel 4 up there at the top right, and I've got now Penn State. It's probably a replay of Penn State and USC volleyball on the Big Ten Network. I mean, this isn't working for me, people.
I got San Jose Fresno on. I got Auburn and Kentucky. Kansas is ahead of K-State. 12 minutes left. How about that?
Yeah, that's I think K-State just kind of pulled within 2, didn't they?
It is 27-26 Kansas.
Boy, I tell you what, for what I said about LSU within the first 5 minutes of this show, it really backfired on me. And Kentucky's going to lose to Auburn here, and because there I was just earlier in this program saying that that LSU could be, potentially the best team in the country, and
they're getting housed.
Wow, how the worm has turned!
It has turned.
Oh gosh, that's the lovely thing about college football.
My uncle is a big Kansas State fan, and
yeah,
we went. That's where I was last week when I wasn't able to be on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he got his digs in about OU, going to the SEC to get, beat up on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go KU.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Hey, I've got 13 points so far in our college football pick'em. That's almost a 40 to 50% increase from last week.
I'm sitting at 10 right now.
I had Boston College, Boise State, Virginia Tech, Indiana, Ohio State let me down.
Hey, I picked A&M. How about that?
Ole Miss let me down.
God dang it. SMU and Duke are tied 21-all.
Navy let me down.
Kansas State. Yep.
The Ducks and Bama did me well. OSU let me down. I had them covering that 6.5. Man, how about that Tech game? That was crazy. TCU wins at 35-34, and I was listening to Ryan Hyatt a little bit before we came on the air, and they can't keep a quarterback healthy, Jeremy.
Yeah, I know.
If I call you Jared, I apologize because my color commentator on Weatherford football is Jared Jones.
Oh, I was there first, so
I know you were.
Bitch. So hey, yeah, well, it's a tale as old as time, isn't it?
Yeah,
Texas Tech can't keep a quarterback healthy.
Yeah,
it's like a snake bit school.
Yeah, UConn got me a point. BYU got me a point. Man, Cal just housed Oregon State. 44-7.
Man, how about that?
Okay,
Oregon State Miami, they don't belong in the Power Four, huh?
Yeah, Miami, Florida gave me a point, and West Virginia. Man, I didn't do too bad. And where I'm going to suck right here, Kansas can probably cover the 10 they were getting.
Yeah, I think I picked K-State there because rivalry.
I probably
Okay, so I just turned the World Series on.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
New York take the lead
because of Steve Anderson. Because how can you not be romantic about baseball when the two highest payrolls are playing for the championship? But man, training the reliever for the Dodgers is just throwing frisbees up there, and I don't know who this guy is for the Yankees, but he has fouled them both off, and they were both balls he should have hit about 500 feet.
Well, there's a lot. Did he get it?
Swinging no matter what.
What did I miss? I'm trying to find it.
I don't know. Hey, Steve, who's number 11 for the Yankees? That looked like Javi Baez.
Yeah, Dodgers up 4-2, bottom of the ninth. Yankees have bases loaded, one out.
Yeah.
Lenny Rowland, let's go Cincinnati. Hate both those baseball teams. I guess.
Yeah,
I guess as far as YouTube multi-view, I can't dial in the World Series on that.
Yeah, I'm watching it standalone.
Okay, look at you.
Because college football has destroyed me.
I'm dead inside.
I'm dead inside. There's nothing left. That's why I'm wearing black.
I can probably get a point off of Kansas State. I doubt SMU. 9:02 left to go in the fourth, tied at 21 apiece. They were giving 11.5.
Oh my God! So I took Florida State plus 21 against Miami. Miami wins by 22.
Yeah,
You buttholes.
that's a bad one.
Yeah, it's a bad beat.
Bad beat. Hey, that's where bad beats on Monday night really come into play. Is when you look at it, it's like, dang it, I lost on that one too.
I took
Uh,
Sparty +4. They lose by a touchdown. Hey, Penn State covered. How about that?
yeah. Um, Probably no need for a tiebreaker. Looks like the standings in our college football pick'em is Max Patton in first place, and then Mike Crow, the preacher's picks, in second. So
So I'm gonna get a point
I've
out of A&M.
I've got to try to get out of the cellar here.
I'm not getting a point out of K-State, you jerks. You
Fantasy football. I have no points so far. We'll see what I can do tomorrow.
got 6 points out of my defense.
All right, Volpe.
Volpe. Oh, 11 for the
Anderson says
Yankees.
Volpe.
Okay. Yeah, that dude was swinging no matter what was thrown up there. That last pitch was a 3
Yeah.
feet outside. He waved at it.
So, do you think Auburn wishes they could have us come back down to the plains again?
To get another W?
Thinking they could get us this time?
I don't know. Offense is better now.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
No. Well, and I'll just say this. In the second half, wow.
Lenny,
Is this
it's all
Stanton
doom
coming
and
to
gloom
bat?
for now, but things are turning up. It's going to be fine. OU is
Well, and that's where I'm going to leave off on something positive, Jeremy, is like you went out and you played against a really tough defense pretty dang well for a half. You went
yeah,
out, you showed those guys that you can go out there and do it. Now,
sure. Now
I
it's
don't know.
all you got to be better defensively. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we've talked about this with like Iowa. Oh, that ain't it. That ball
It's a
should have been
pop-up.
crushed though. Hey,
Will he tag up?
it's 2-0. No,
Nope, that's the game.
That was the third out, Chuck.
I'm sorry, I didn't see the score or the ounce. Yeah, Yankees go down 2-0, and you would think after last night and then tonight that they're probably a little disheartened.
Yeah, and we talk about being disheartened. The most deflating, the most deflated I've ever felt as an OU fan was when OU just drove all the way down the field on their first drive today,
Mm-hmm.
and they had 6 guys in the same route, in the same zone,
Yeah,
and Jackson bounced a pass off of Brendan Thompson's chest, and
yeah.
they didn't score.
There back to what that was. There were a couple of times that it did seem like, and it seems like it could cause some confusion with the receivers as well.
Oh, sure.
I mean, okay, am I reaching out for this, or I mean, and some of those Bauer Sharp comeback routes,
I know he played quarterback at a different level, and he's a D2 kid that came up, and he's a good ball player, but he is trying to do too much. Every time he gets the ball in his hands, he's trying to do too much.
yeah,
He just needs to play football. Just play ball. Just quit. If you catch the ball 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and there's 6 guys around you, don't run 8 yards backwards. Okay? Let's not do that again.
yeah.
Catch the
I
ball
don't
in
know.
traffic. It's going to hurt regardless. Catch the damn thing. It doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seemed like the couple of times that that Jackson Arnold did have time in the second half to send one down once or twice. Something decent did happen, but anyways, they've got to go forward. They've got to bounce back and take care of Maine next week, and then what? We've got Alabama coming to town after that, or do we go to Columbia?
Yeah. No, Alabama, then a week off. Or no, then
I don't think
I
there's
think
another bye.
then Missouri, then a week off, then Alabama.
Oh,
Something
so
like
Maine,
that.
Missouri, Alabama. I can probably pull it up right here.
They've got a bye week in there somewhere.
All right, so Maine next week, November the 2nd, Missouri November the 9th, and then
Okay. Then a bye
week, and then Alabama on the 23rd, and then you go to Death Valley on the 30th. So Merry Christmas.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that 23rd, That's the week before Thanksgiving, isn't it?
Yes, Thanksgiving's on the 27th, 28th.
Yeah. So you go to LSU on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah,
All right.
that's going to be the new rivalry on Thanksgiving. Is they're going to make us play LSU.
Yeah. Dan
Fantastic.
Narva, Lenny Rowland, LSU fell apart. Dan Narva, I hate when the create your own multi-view doesn't offer the games I want. Yeah, I'm with you, Dan. I'm not a big fan of that so far, but at 2:30 on a Saturday, multi-view is not too shabby.
No, it's not at all.
It's these
You can
these
find
later
several
night
different
games.
multi-views and watch whatever you want to watch. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty great.
Well, so how do you feel about our YouTube switch? Do you think we can keep swinging this way?
We only had the one hiccup when you tried to open Facebook up on your
Yeah.
laptop.
Yeah.
That comes Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg, he's sabotaging my show.
This has been pretty seamless,
Yeah.
easy.
I think we'll get some of our our steadies are around. I think we'll probably some of the people that were kind of off and on viewers, maybe we'll get them going, and would love to get the numbers up and see what we can do. I had a company reach out to us, and I don't know if I told you this.
No.
It's a replacement golf grip company.
Oh yeah.
And I would have ran a couple of spots for them just to be able to get some swag for us and try out their product. I do have some older clubs that I'd like to be re-gripped, and I've seen the YouTube videos on the process of doing a proper re-grip, and I don't want to have to buy that vise, and I don't want to have to be spraying chemical out in my garage, and all this stuff. So
it's not that hard.
I'm sure it's
I used to do my own all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to do a couple for me?
I could. It's fairly simple.
You're just a man of the world.
Well, I like to be handy.
You're a ruler of the airways and ruler of the garage. So, anyways, see, and that's the opposite of what Red Green used to say, because you're an oily bohunk, and Red Green used to say, if she doesn't find you handsome, at least let her find you handy. And I bet Dan Narva's got to be familiar with some Red Green. Just saying. Dan Narva, D2 ball in your area, Pitt State over Central Oklahoma. Finally, UCO loses. I'm sick and dog tired.
How about them gorillas?
The only undefeated team in Oklahoma, the UCO Broncos. What, Todd Lisenby? Why aren't they following? Why isn't there more coverage of UCO football? Because nobody cares.
Because it's D2.
Hey,
but there's a kid that plays for there's a kid that plays for Pitt State. Have you seen this?
I'm familiar with Pitt State. What am I thinking?
I'm not going to say his name. You just need to Google it.
What is it, quarterback or something?
Hang on. Hold on.
I'll check out their roster. What do you want me to do? I mean, where
are
we going here?
I don't want to say it over the air here.
Well, if it's a name, I mean, is it Fuchsa?
No. Where is it?
He's been released.
It probably has, or it was made up. Oh well. I'm going to continue to effort. Keep talking.
I'm looking. Well, I mean, I'll say this: I love SWOSU, Southwestern Oklahoma State University. I would love to see them be successful. I was talking about a little bit with a big upset in the Great American Conference last week between Ouachita Baptist and Harding in Arkansas. Landon Blue Ball.
No.
Wow. Austin.
Where did I see that, and why was it? It was going around Twitter, and now I don't see his name anywhere on the roster.
Now, there is a kid that played for Weatherford last year that's up there as a lineman, Gage Stiegel. Oh,
there he is.
I see it is. Yeah.
Tight end, 6'3", 227.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that name.
We're not.
I am not saying
you were wise. You were wise to not say the name of number 86, the tight end for the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. I will commend you for that.
I'm looking You're welcome. Now you know.
I'm looking to see where our former Weatherford Eagle is on their roster. As I mentioned, let's see. Where's Gage Stiegel? There he is. 6'5", 300 pounds. They say from Burns Flat, Oklahoma, Weatherford High School. Big kid. And he was a big lineman for us last year. Got a big win last night in Elk City, Jeremy. And I'll just say this. High school football is interesting because you go on the road and then there's always the allegation of home cooking with the officials, and this and that. Well, the officials always come from some other area.
Yeah.
The officials, it's not Elk City dudes doing the officiating, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't equally bad, So,
Sure.
but, man, you talk about a rivalry. Clinton, Elk City, and Weatherford. So Weatherford and Clinton are in the same county. It's the Custer County conflict. It's a big rivalry. Clinton's kind of owned the all-time record, got a lot more state titles, but Weatherford is a big rival for them. I will say this, it's a respected rivalry. It's it's a rivalry, but there's not the hatred. Clinton Elk City, Weatherford Elk City, that's some venom. They do not like each other. So Weatherford kids have a Barstool account for on Instagram, and there were more elk trophy hunting pics in the last 24 hours than I've ever seen on Instagram.
Man.
Yeah. Hey, did you see did you check out the Instagram video I sent you of the heavyset guy playing basketball?
Yes, I did. I'm just watching Freddie Freeman hit yet another home run tonight. So I guess
Yeah, he's
early
teeing off.
favorite, early favorite for the MVP of the World Series. And is A-Rod using Spencer Tillman's makeup guy?
I just want to know if A-Rod, so he's going oppo of Sammy Sosa. I just want to find out if I just want to find out if his posture's improving.
I don't know.
Well, he is.
Got
He
that old
is.
man posture.
He's got the melatonin going, doesn't or the
Yeah, he
melanin
does.
going, doesn't he?
I mean, he's a South Florida guy, but he's
He's
Latin.
he's really tan.
Yeah, super
Yeah,
tan.
good for you. Be yourself, bub. Uh, and I as much as I despise A-Rod, I would have a lot more respect for him had they not brought that whore up on the set with him when he was dating her, and she's sitting over there off the side on her phone, and they pan over and show her
You talking about the one the Chinese call J-Ro?
the J-Ro.
Taco
Flavor kisses, honey.
Yeah. Taco favorite kisses for
It's
my
not
kid.
racist. It's not racist if South Park did it. Wait, yeah, it is.
It's not racist if it's Jennifer Lopez.
All right,
She
quick
was a Diddy
comments
Party
before we
member.
get out of here. Damn, Marty Wandry. I've seen your golf game, Chuck. You need them.
Hook us up.
Yeah, Dan Narva, 9,000 fans at UCO is pretty good for a D2 crowd. That is pretty good. I mean, on a
I've
Saturday
seen that
night in
stadium.
Oklahoma,
That's a good crowd.
yeah, that's some fans showing up. So, once again, what do I know about sports?
Lenny, we've got to get enough views to monetize. So, tell your friends.
So Steve Anderson remembers the red green motto when he had the Man's Club. I'm a man and I can change if I have to, I guess. Dan Narva, Sparty kicker, missed a 25-yarder after 6 field goal week last week against Iowa. Lenny Rowland says he likes YouTube, and he says he thinks you get paid more on YouTube. I mean, let's.
We got to get enough views to get monetized.
Yeah, we gotta up that.
We got to get
quite a
them
bit,
views
so.
up, boys.
We'll see if we can do some promotion and stuff. And like I said, I'll still keep posting for people to tune in on the YouTube. But we need to get out of here, Jeremy. So, maybe we can bounce back next week. I don't know that Saturday's going to work out good for me to take the show on the road. We'll see. But if by chance I do end up in Norman, I will at least give you a buzz and see what you're doing.
All right, I think I may be. I think I may be committed to a birthday party for
Yeah.
El Cuñado's betrothed.
Oh, I had to go over this again. So the heavyset guy, real heavyset guy, bangs a three in. Best nickname in the comments. Here they go. Zion Williamson. Tim Hard to Weigh. Shaquille O'Neal. Hakeem a larger one. Jason Adam. Meta World 10 piece.
I think comments on videos like that are my biggest guilty pleasure.
Yeah, thick Van Exel, Tracy McGravy, Nick Van XXXXel, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Patrick Chewing, Jerry Snackhouse, Dwayne Wade, Diathrides, Patty Mills,
Jerry Snackhouse,
Kobe Giant
is highly underrated.
Bam added Mayo. All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
Man, have a great week. We'll talk to you next Friday on the Weekend Big Show.
All right, buddy.
He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ram through the Law Dog. Thank you for tuning in here on our Saturday night college football wrap-up show. You can listen to us at your convenience on our SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon, and Apple podcast pages. You can also follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter X. And then you can find links to all of those, including this YouTube channel, on our website, lawdogsports.com. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. And we will talk to you real soon.